Welcome, Twisted Black.
Man, I appreciate you.
How you doing today, man?
Bless. Bless.
It's cool. I like your demeanor, man. Real chill, polite.
Yeah,
I can respect it.
thank you, man. You laid back.
Nah, it's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So where you from?
Fort Worth. Yeah, I'm originally from Detroit. I was born in Detroit, but
Okay.
been in Fort Worth since I was like 2 years old.
For real.
So
Okay.
I know.
So that's like you was born you was raised out there.
Yeah, I was
mainly.
raised in Fort Worth,
Cool,
definitely, Texas. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How was your upbringing, would you say?
Um, when you look back at it now, it was different. You know what I mean? Being bi-coastal, coming from Detroit to Fort Worth, and then my father was pretty heavy in the game and stuff. So, seeing things as a child that I probably shouldn't have seen. But, just regular upbringing, I guess.
Understandable. Would you say Detroit and Fort Worth is like different in a lot of ways?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, see, Detroit was always a little faster. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? So I was exposed to things that my family members in Texas weren't exposed to. So yeah, the difference was Detroit was faster, but now shit done caught up. You feel
Yeah.
me? Detroit is still Detroit, but
Yeah.
your Fort Worth ain't lacking on no foolishness.
Okay. So if you would describe Fort Worth to like somebody who's never been there, how would you describe it?
I would describe Fort Worth as, you know what? Fort Worth is kind of, it's like a sleeping giant because you don't really think that it's 1.3 million people there, right?
Damn, I
But
didn't even
it
know that.
is.
Wow.
And you got just different pockets of whatever you're looking for type of stuff, you know what I mean? But I would describe it kind of like a, I don't want to say a Chicago,
Okay.
a country ass Chicago. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But
Country
I
Chicago.
don't know. You can't really.
Yeah.
It's an experience, brother.
Nah, it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool. Okay. So like, what got you into music?
Man, I just love music. I do music, because I love it. I don't do it because I have to. Uh, it's not me bragging and that. It's just, for a
Yeah.
lot of people that don't know, I just love music. If you know a little bit about me, then that's my thing. So I got into that because of some cousins of mine way back when I was a kid, growing up in the studio in Flint, Michigan.
Wow. Okay.
Bernard Terry was an engineer, so I seen Anita Baker stuff, Howard Hewitt, and all of those people,
Wow.
the Bards and all that. So I don't know, music was a big influence in Detroit. So I kept going there every summer. Them being my
Family
roots, it
stuff.
was just
Yeah.
kind of in my DNA.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you basically had some like a mixture of Detroit and Fort Worth.
yeah,
That makes sense. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Fort Worth.
My
It's
apologies.
okay.
Fort Worth. Yeah,
Fort
Fort
Worth.
Worth. All
Yeah,
right, cool. I'm
it's
a New
all good.
Yorker. It's kind of
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. I'm here. Yeah.
Nah, I
I
respect
mean,
it.
y'all got a cool accent. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. How you feel about New York?
New York. I mean,
Yeah.
like I like to visit. You know what I mean? It's about 6 or 7 times visiting.
Okay.
Like I couldn't like New York guys. Well, let me say New York niggas, right?
Nah, yeah. Talk your
Yeah,
talk.
New York niggas and Fort Worth different. I mean, they different, but it's the type of difference to where like, yeah, I can't do a lot of that, and
In Fort Worth.
I
In
can't
Fort
do it. I
Worth.
can't do a lot of New York shit because this shit be loud and brash and
Yeah, I can see it.
obnoxious. Not
Bro,
everybody,
talk
but
it. I don't
yeah,
get
but
offended. I don't
like
get
it's
it.
just too much. Like we kind of laid back
I can
and
see that.
yeah, I'm like, hey, pipe down a little bit, champ.
I can see that. I can see that.
But I got a few good friends from New York, man. Especially ones I did time with.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah, solid brothers. You feel me?
So you did some time with some New Yorkers.
Man, some good guys, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish but when you doing time, especially in the feds, every nigga from New York, we just call them New York. Like I know their names like in my phone and shit.
Okay.
Good dudes, man. I've been through some shit with too. You know what I mean?
So speak about that. Let's rewind.
Okay.
What caused you to have to go to the feds, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. Conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I went to the feds in '06, right? I just got out in 2023.
Welcome home, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
so man, it's crazy because some of the relationships I have now were forged in prison. And those are some of the strongest bonds I have to date.
Wow.
Because when you meet a nigga in prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't get it twisted. Nigga be all, you know, be all he can be.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really catch him under pressure, you seen. You see what I'm saying? That's why a lot of these guys that come to prison, I don't respect it.
Mm.
You know, because when I see you out here, you a killer, you whatever. But in there, you in your birthday suit. Nigga tell you, nigga, you know, let me look at that. Let me get that fade. I don't want no trouble. I'm trying to go home.
Yeah,
No,
you're
nigga,
not
you
giving
just
the same
killed 8
energy.
people,
Yeah,
bro.
you understand? We might as well
Fuck
keep the
out of here.
same energy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, conspiracy. Let me know if we can't talk about certain
I
things.
talk about whatever.
Okay,
No
cool.
skeletons in my closet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Nah, because I'm actually interested at just as a person.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I like learning from other people, and you seem like I like your demeanor. You seem like you've been through something. I speak to a lot of people. You seem like you know enough to know when to talk, when not to talk, and be calm when. Just from what I'm seeing at this
Right.
very moment. So, conspiracy, you say.
Yeah.
So we won. Did you, before you went to the feds, did you have any criminal history at all?
Yeah, I did. I had, had a few attempted murders and
Okay.
assaults and shit like that. And that's
Okay.
the reason why they was able to give me. I ended up with 3 30-year sentences, right?
Wow.
They wanted to give me life, but I didn't have prior dope cases.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So they couldn't career me out, you
For
know,
sure.
career criminal me.
Okay.
But however, you know, it still bit me because the Fed system go on points like shit that you did. If it ain't 15 years or whatever,
Okay.
they gonna still give you a point for that. You feel me?
Wow.
So
Okay.
that I still got maxed out. But I went to trial. See, and they really hate you when you bucking.
I
Man,
can
if you buck,
imagine.
it's a wrap. Yeah.
Okay, so you went to, so you had prior before. What, well, I know we all go through stuff. We all done does dumb stuff in our lifetime. What do you think was your environment something that molded you to do like to be like not really a criminal, but just do dumb stuff, would you say?
I was a fucking criminal, bro.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
it's
want to call
okay
you that.
to.
I don't want
No, it's cool.
to.
Yeah, you know, yeah, my environment. Yeah, I mean, I could blame that, but
Okay.
I grew up with my father selling drugs,
Mm.
right? So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I thought it was okay, but
Mm.
it was what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I made that choice, but just so we don't get sidetracked, what I did my time for
Mm.
the because they consolidated all 330s, right?
Mm.
They made it 130, and I ended up doing 17 years and 2 months. Gave back 62 months off of the crack laws and another year for the first step back and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't do that. That ain't, you know, I was really innocent of that charge. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? So,
Okay.
and that's just how the karmatic law is sometimes.
So like, yeah, you had the priors, but the one they didn't get you on the stuff that you actually did, but then they okay,
Real talk.
yeah.
And a lot of people, especially square niggas or square people,
Mm-hmm.
would say,
Talk your talk, man.
"Well, you finally got caught for something. It don't matter. You know, nah, fuck
Yeah,
that. The law says you're supposed to charge me and convict me for what I've done.
yeah,
You know, so but that didn't happen. But however, I did the time like a man. You know, okay, all glory to God. Made it home.
for sure,
Didn't tell on nobody. Didn't rat. Didn't no cop outs. No pleas. No proffers. And none of that. And still out here and got some relevance, you know what I mean? So
for sure.
that's
That's
a
a
blessing.
blessing. That's a blessing for sure.
Yeah.
So would you say putting Twisted Black in a whole different environment with a whole different family, would you feel like you would turn out? Not saying you turn out bad, but to say you would turn out in a different, like you wouldn't have went through that same path. Would you say?
Man, that is a good question. I think that people turn out. I think this is just me, you know,
For
my
sure.
my experience. I think you turn out kind of like what your environment is. Like if your family is doctors and lawyers,
I agree.
then more than likely you will go that way. I'm not saying to be a doctor or a lawyer, but something like that,
Yeah, for
right?
sure. You have a
You
better.
know, statistics say, man, that, you know, shit, if you grow up in poverty and in the ghetto or whatever, whatnot, then you usually go that way. Well, of course, we all know people that didn't. I know somebody that, yeah, of course we all do, but I'm just talking about as a conglomerate,
Yeah,
right?
statistically,
Yeah,
for sure.
statistically, man. Yeah, if all of my people was motherfucking baboons, then at some point my ass would be pink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
know,
That's
yeah, for
that's
sure.
just the true
It's
story.
a saying too. They be like, you hang out with dogs, you gonna be,
You get up with
get
fleas.
up with fleas.
Yeah,
Facts.
you know, just I just believe that.
Okay. All right. So you did your time. How was just for somebody who never been to the feds or prison like that? Like describe or like if you want to talk about it, tell me how was the stay, man? Like explain to me.
It was rough because it was so much time, 17 years and 2
17 years.
months, and then I was on 9 different compounds, 9 different prisons.
Wow.
Because I was put on what's called diesel therapy.
Mm.
Basically like they felt like you was either a bad actor or a high-profile prisoner,
Okay.
and shit. I was both.
Okay.
So once you get comfortable at one prison, shit, you go into another one. So I went to like 9. I've been through transit like 22, 23 times. Shout out to the Fed babies too.
For sure. Damn. So you saying 9 different transfers. So how long? What was the longest time you was at
One
one
prison,
prison?
probably Beaumont,
Okay.
when I first started, because they ended up switching I started off at Beaumont, right, which was called like a medium high at the time.
Okay.
I was supposed to be going to the high, but they ended up switching the point system, right? So I got high points. This is how they tricked me at Beaumont for like 5 years. So going with high points, right? And then when I finally worked, I'm like, shit, okay, cool. I done worked my way down to medium. I'm trying to get the fuck out of Beaumont,
Yeah.
right? So I go to my case manager, and I'm like, hey man, my points drop. I'm at medium points, baby. Get me up out of here. He said, yeah, they just switched it over, man. Beaumont is now medium.
Wow.
So I asked the guy, I'm like, you got to be
So
fucked. So
so
he kept
yeah.
me right there.
So basically, you just had your hopes up to go a little low, and then they just switched everything up.
Yeah, that's anybody that go to the Fed and start off, low or medium high or medium. Your dream is to always get low, and everybody want to get to the motherfucking count.
So explain to people who've never been to Fed. So the high the high point Fed what was it, prison that you would go to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like oh
High security.
yeah. So it's like you're just locked in 24/7
No,
basically.
no, that's the shoe.
Okay. Okay.
Where I spent a lot of time myself.
Sure.
Not just like I was a rough and tough guy, but I was always trying to make something shake. And then my thing was always investigations. You under investigation. We don't keep you 3, 4 months in the shoe. That's 23 and 1,
Damn,
right?
bro.
So for 23 hours, you in that bitch. 1 hour, you get like wreck, but the wreck is like a little cage, like up in here, but you get a chance to talk shit with people and be through the fence talking shit with them. You know what I mean? And if you just at a high period and you in population, a lot of them are behind the wall.
Wow.
So you all day, you outside or whatever, or until with your rec or until you go in, but it's a motherfucking wall that stands higher than you can look. So the only way for you to see outside is to look the fuck up.
Damn.
Yeah, so, but then there's the medium highs like Beaumont, Victorville, and they rock and roll just as hard. So everybody want to get to the camp, because at the camp, you can do
It's a little bit
everything.
more elbow room. Okay.
Hell yeah, you do everything at the camp.
Okay.
Lowe's got weights and shit.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I hear people say, but this is not from me not knowing. I hear people say that the feds and being in prison and being in the feds is like 2 different things. Is that true?
I've been in state prison, and
State
it's a
prison.
different bid, yeah. It's a
Okay.
different bid. Both of them are tough, man, when you're away from your family like that,
Yeah,
though.
I
You know what I mean?
understand that.
So it's just the conditions are different. But people think that like a state bid where they probably do a lot of fighting and stuff like that. So they think the uh, the idea or the ideology is that state is more rough.
Because you're doing more stuff.
But it's
Okay.
not, though. Because in the feds, everything is about the knife.
Wow.
You might have a regular ass argument over the vending machine. Something you could probably squabble and get over with, and they could put the knife on you.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay. So
yeah.
for last thing, we're gonna get off this topic. What is the wildest thing you've seen, if you can speak about it?
The wildest thing I've seen probably is a story, right? It was 3 Mexicans, right? And one of the Mexicans was false flagging, like he was really TS, but he was parading like he was Tango Blast the whole time. Cool ass Mexican, man. And so he had his cousin was there and his partner. So it's 3 of them. And so some type of way they got a note in, letting them know that Buddy, was really a TS, Texas Syndicate or some shit like that, right?
Okay.
And so Tongo was like, hey man, come to the yard. So everybody know what's gonna happen. Like they finna fuck you up. And I watched these dudes, him, his cousin, and his partner, faded that yard. They went out there to that yard. So of course all the blacks was already hip that something was going on in all the other gangs. So what happens then is we stay out of the way. We don't want to get in y'all video. So I'm watching from my cell window. Man, it looked like when they walked out there, it's like, you know, they parted, everybody parted and let them in. And when I say it looked like something you can't even describe, like ants on something sweet, all of a sudden they just all engulfed them.
Damn.
And when they came up off of them, then those little trucks and shit came to pick them up.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't pretty. They ain't died, but
But it was pretty crazy.
they didn't. But you know, I seen people die for super simple shit. You know what I mean? One dude get his skull crushed, you know, because with the boots, that's why they stopped letting you wear the boots in the penitentiary. But we ain't gotta do that because people gonna think I'm institutionalized. I'll be talking about
Nah, but
prison all
honestly,
day.
people need to know about these stuff. So they,
Yeah, just don't fucking go.
yeah, that's the whole point. I hear this stuff and I'll be like, I'm not going.
Yes,
You feel me?
Lord.
I'm
Hell
staying.
nah, man.
But
Life is
nah,
outside.
to switch gears, do you feel like, I mean, you obviously didn't do what you even got sentenced for, so I can't even say, do you feel like you learned something, but
Yeah.
do you feel like when you came out, man, what's a better question? When you was in, did anything change in you?
Did I learn my lesson?
But I can't say a lesson because what you got
Yeah,
institutionalized
no,
for, you didn't do.
yeah, but I still sold drugs all my life.
Okay.
I was 13 months clean of selling dope. I've finished it because I had 9 deals on the table.
Okay.
Music, you dig what I'm saying? So I was guilty of being a drug dealer, right? I wasn't guilty of those charges, and I could try to weasel my way out of it or whatever, you know. But I wouldn't give a fuck. When you go and you do that time, whether you did it or you didn't do it,
You want to change.
you learn a lesson.
I
Now,
understand.
sometimes it's gonna be for some niggas go to jail and they get worse,
Yeah.
right?
I've seen that.
And smart men go to jail and they're like, man, I can't let this happen again.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Some niggas seem like they like jail.
So you said you had a couple deals on the tables.
9.
9 deals.
Yeah.
So speak a little bit more to that. So you was from what I'm hearing, you were like successful musically.
Timothy. Yeah, bro. When it came down to music coming out of my, right then in that era, in my way, I was the hottest one coming out out the South. Right there, I had 9 deals on the table. I ended up signing with TVT. At the time, Yo Gotti was there, Pitbull was there, 9 Inch Nails was there.
Around what year was that? So
This was
people can know.
2006.
Okay,
Yeah,
2006.
what's his name? Lil Jon was there.
Heavy hitter.
Yin Yang Twins
Yeah.
was there. You know what I mean? So
That was the time.
yeah, so I had action at the music finally. So I had left the drugs alone. You know. So, but I ended up with a crack case. That's what everybody knew was like, man, Black ain't fuck with no crack. You know what I mean? And because you know, had they caught me down bad, it would have been powder.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
But
yeah.
I hadn't sold drugs in over 13 months. Was done. Had a graduation party and all that.
Wow.
Because I was like, damn, the music finally paid off. But you know, karmatic law is real.
Okay.
He came back and got me. But musically, yeah, I was him right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
So what would you say was like your breaking point musically when you was like, all right, I made it. When you felt like I'm doing my thing.
When I had 9 deals on the table. Yeah,
Understandable.
that was like, okay, this shit about to
But
pay off, you
but
know.
let me pause real quick. A
Okay.
lot of people don't like they're making the music. I don't know if it's a time change or something, but they don't get to see even one deal, and they don't like. You have to be buzzing. Were you buzzing in your city?
Oh,
You
yeah.
had to be buzzing in your
Yeah,
city.
I had a cold movement, man.
Okay.
Yeah, Twisted Black out of Fort Worth. Whenever you mention rap in Fort Worth, if somebody's being fair and not just dry hating, they have to mention me.
So what were you doing to push your music around that
See,
time?
back then it was all footwork, right? See, I had an ass load of street money, you know what I mean? I had bricks, you know, so
For sure.
I was decent. So I was in every city, in every state, just about. I went through the Midwest with this lady named Judy Jones. She was breaking the clips. She broke a little flip. She was fucking with T.I., all of them. So I ended up doing some business with Judy. Shout out to Judy. And she ended up taking me through a Midwest run, and with me having Detroit ties, going through Cleveland, Indiana,
Paid off.
what is it, Muncie, or whatever it is. You know, we went all that way, and just blazed it up all the way through Atlanta. You know what I mean? Greg Street gave me a leg up, and so I had 2 rap Suburbans and putting stuff on. You know, back then it was about
Yeah, footwork.
your leg work.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was your leg
makes
work.
sense.
Yeah.
So you was doing your thing, man.
Yeah, it was.
And then your connection to Detroit made sense because you was able to have like a fan base over there in Fort Worth also. So it made sense. That's big. So okay, so mentally, you went to jail for, would you say like half your life, or not in jail? You went to
Damn,
prison.
yeah, prison. Yeah,
Prison for
too many years of my life. Yeah, because I went to state prison before that. See,
yeah,
so I've given this the penal system itself way too many years. You know what I mean? Over 20 north of 20 years, easy. So
So mentally, would you say it took a toll on you?
fuck that. That's why I'm in therapy session.
For sure.
Yes,
For sure. What do you do in life that's therapeutic?
pray, read the Bible, watch Tony Evans,
I like that.
T.D. Jakes,
I like that. So you
Bill
have,
Winston.
I like
I
that.
can go on forever.
That's good. So
Yeah,
you have
but
a,
music is my therapy, to be honest with you. That's why I do it. I vent through my music. People play the music and they be like, oh, that nigga ain't even lying. That nigga, you know.
talking.
Yeah, so,
I've heard it. It's like you
yeah.
telling a story. Like you really,
Yeah, see, but a lot of people get it misconstrued, though. When I tell the story, I tell stories, right? But when I'm venting, it's my story. Like I'm not gonna vent another nigga business, basically. You know what I mean?
yeah, for
Unless
sure.
I'm trying to make a mockery of him, and you know, low key just trying to diss him or something like
Yeah, for
that.
sure.
I've been known to do that. But yeah, I'll make a story. I'm a pretty good storyteller.
Nah, understandable, understandable. So you said music is your therapy.
It's my outlet.
Okay. And okay. Makes sense. If it's like a deep question, but if you have a fear, what is your biggest fear, would you say?
My biggest fear, failing,
Failing.
failing.
Okay.
Yeah, at anything that I don't know if that's normal
Biggest fear.
or if it's just me as internal, but when like I'll be not indecisive but apprehensive about starting something that I just don't know I can.
Give me an example.
Um,
If you have.
okay, let's just we'll just generalize it, right?
Yeah.
If it's a female, right,
Okay.
and it's super bad,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't know or feel like I can knock that bitch, I probably won't even say nothing. Just
Understandable.
being honest,
That's a human fear. That makes
Yeah, that
sense. Yeah. It's
that's
human
something
nature.
real
Yeah.
super small, but
Yeah.
like my biggest elephant in the room is the music, right? So since you pulled it out of me,
For sure.
because I was there, I was at the pinnacle of my career then, and just the fact that no one, zero. I was just talking to him about that. Nobody has ever left the game for that many years, came back and actually got back on top.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm having to carve out a lane with no precedent being set, no blueprint to look at.
For sure.
Not too many people will really believe it, that it could be done because it had been done.
Understand, but to that point, you were one of the first popping people in your city, so it seems like you've done it before.
See, and that's what's in my head. See, now right now you sound like my not alter ego, but what's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that voice
yeah,
again. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I feel you.
Because I didn't follow anybody's
Yeah,
footsteps in the beginning.
for sure.
You see what I'm saying? So do your homework on Fort Worth. Who else had a major deal but me? And if there's someone behind me, then who had one first? You dig what I'm saying? So, and if you come up with 2 people, then that's a different Fort Worth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think that kind of pushes me to be, to continue to do it.
Understandable. So would you say that keeps you going? Like just trying to defy not the odds, but like making your own path, setting your own precedents and different things like that. Does that keep you going?
Man, you said it. You said it right the first time. It's defy the odds. Like that's my thing. I live every day, every breathing moment to defy the odds because so many people from a child up, it's like he's destined to lose because of my upbringing, because of
Yeah.
what I come from with my father, where I come from Detroit,
Yeah.
or even going to prison for so many years. That's a long ass hiatus.
Yeah.
So yeah, my every waking moment is to defy the odds,
Defy the odds.
to win.
All right, man. Honestly, man, let's just end it off. Something switch gears. What's your favorite food, man? What you like to eat?
Oh man, soul food.
Soul food,
So
okay.
yeah.
Who got the best soul food?
Um, out where? Like where? It depends on where you at.
From your hometown.
From Fort Worth,
Yeah.
Nana's Kitchen.
Okay. I got
Yeah, Nana's Kitchen. If anybody ever in Fort Worth, go to Nana's Kitchen.
4x4 Productions.